Come on in, everybody, and welcome to my review of Married at First Sight, season 15, episode 8. And this is going to be for Lindy and Miguel of Married at First Sight. But welcome, come on in to the discussion, because we're about to talk about Miguel and Lindy. And I know Miguel and Lindy's theme for their housewarming party was a game show night. And I know that Miguel came in dressed as a pimp. Well, I got a game for Miguel. Here is my game question. What is a 5-letter word that can be used in place of a pimp? Not you, Miguel, not you, the pimp. The answer is Lindy, a Lindy. Because Miguel might have been dressed as a pimp, but he getting pimped by Lindy. Y'all, did Lindy just trade her last name for some health care, her name on a bank account, and an apartment? And this girl is a doctor? Lindy's financially irresponsible. Now that we add everything up about Lindy, we need to add it all up. Lindy's like a bill. You know, when you first go in and you get ready to buy something and they say, hey, yeah, it's just going to be a $299. You think, oh, that's a fantastic, $299. Yes. Wow, what a great deal. And then when you get ready to check out, they go, oh, but do you have the cord too? Or they go, no, the cord doesn't come with it. No, that's an extra $100. And you start adding up everything. And before you know it, you think you got a good deal and you realize, dang, this is a bad deal. What is going on? This is what Lindy is turning out to be. Because what we find out from Lindy is, when we first heard about Lindy, we find out she's a doctor. Oh my God, I'm so impressed. She's a doctor. Then we find out she's a physical therapist, which I'm not saying nothing's wrong with a physical therapist, but they're not like no cardiologists. They ain't making that kind of money. So she's a physical therapist. Then we find out she tells us, you know, I don't really work that often. And, you know, I have a flex schedule. So I'm thinking, oh, she must have got a lot of money. You mean to tell me Lindy can just work half time? She must make a lot of money. She goes, yeah, because you know what? I like to work a flex schedule. I work for 3 months, then don't work. Got it. But then we find out Lindy is living with 3 or 4 roommates in a small apartment with liquor all in the freezer. And you go, what? This ain't adding up. A doctor living in an apartment with 3 or 4 people with liquor in the freezer, and a so-called church girl who drops the F-bomb regularly. And you're thinking, this is not adding up at all. So anyway, you say, here's this doctor living in an apartment with 4 other women or 3 other girls with liquor all in the cabinet, who drops the F-bomb, who is a doctor but doesn't work half-time, who has a bunch of student loans. Well, it don't end there, people, because we found out this weekend that not only does she have a lot of student loans, she don't even have health care. How the heck you going to be a doctor without health care? And the other problem is, how are you going to be in California without health care? We got something down here called Obamacare, and you need to get on it. Now, it may cost you a little bit of money, but the reason she don't have health care is because Lindy don't want to work for a company that provides health care. Health care is required when you work 40 hours. It's required. Obama put that in place. You have to provide health care for your employees if they work in 40 hours. So that means to tell me Lindy is either working as a contractor in this medical health care field, or she ain't working 40 hours enough to qualify for health care. But then she want Miguel to pay for her health care. She want Miguel to pay all her joint account so them student loans can get paid out that joint account. And then Miguel need to keep his mouth closed about when she works, when she doesn't work, and keep his mouth closed when she goes off with friends and parties and does whatever she wants. Lindy is a pimp. P-I-M-P, a pimp. Miguel over here talking about she's a great wife, and she's so he's got all the things that she wants from a woman. Well, did you want a pimp? Did you want a pimp? Because you got that too. All that other stuff you got a pimp as well. Because let me tell you, pimps are very charming, because pimps need to pimp you for stuff, and that's initially what they start to do, and then eventually they become abusive. And let me tell you, what Lindy did this afternoon, the way she was manipulating Miguel with them stories. Well, you don't want to give me no health care when all it is a phone call. But if I get hit by a car, so what? You just want me to die out here on these streets? Girl, really? Did you just say that after knowing Miguel for 2 weeks, He's now responsible if you get hit by a car on the street because he didn't give you health care when you ain't had health care all this time and you don't even want to go to work and work 40 hours to get health care. Girl, you a pimp. See, this is what I was saying last time about Miguel, why he didn't work out with these other women. Because what I said about these other women, they were not Miguel's intellectual equivalent. And what they weren't able to do, they weren't able to intrigue Miguel. Well, I bet you Miguel is intrigued now. I bet you that neuroscience medical degree is coming in handy because his bells and whistles are starting to go off. And as he said, I don't like this version of Lindy. He's starting to remember all that little clinical work he did, all that white paper, all that theory. And he's starting to realize, wow, I got the real deal sitting right in front of me. And she is bona fide crazy. She may say she a Gemini. You know, Gemini's got two faces. But she about to give Miguel a run for his money. He better whip out them old textbooks and start reading up on Lindy because she going to spin you around, make it feel like it's all your fault. See, remember when I said this first couple, my first prediction for this couple was I didn't think they were going to make it. And now I'm telling you, I'm really afraid for them. I don't know if they are going to make it. Because I said when two people are over emotional, what happens is they believe their emotions are the most important. Two emotional people feel so much overwhelming emotion. What they say to themselves is, I have to be right because if I weren't right, I wouldn't feel like this. And that's what Lindy does. Lindy gets riled up. She gets highly emotional. And because she's the more emotional one between the two, she feels she's right. Even when Miguel was saying, hey, look at here, I don't know if I want to put you on my health insurance right away. He tried to explain it to her. Even Miguel's friend tried to explain it to her and tell her, hey, y'all only known each other 2 weeks. Maybe just like you're afraid to get his last name, he's afraid to take that big leap of healthcare. You know what Lindy said? Well, what about my feelings? She basically told Miguel and that woman, to hell with Miguel's feelings. My feelings are stronger and better, so they should trump yours. That's what I told you about emotional people. They are never willing to let someone else's emotions come over their own emotions. Their emotions are always number one. Miguel talking about Lindy is an oasis in the desert. She gonna leave you out there thirsty. You're going to be out there trying to get a drink of water, and Lindy's going to pimp you for that bottle of water out in the desert. She's going to be like, well, you want this bottle of water out here in this desert that you call an oasis? Give me some health care. He said Lindy's agreeable, adventurous, open-minded. She's cute. She's got beautiful eyes. She's sexy. He was running it all down. He was like, she's a perfect. She doing the same thing to you. Probably Justin doing over there to Lexus. She don't want you to see her flaws. And when they come out, she goes, oh, you know, it was just because I was hungry. Lindy crazy, y'all. She crazy. And she can't blame her craziness on being hungry because they just had a full spread at that party. She wasn't hungry. She crazy. It don't have nothing to do with hunger. These are things she told people. Her brother tried to warn you. Everybody kept trying to warn us about Lindy. And I said, I don't see it yet. I don't see it yet. Well, you know what? Here it is in full force, right in front of my face. I see it all. And this F-bomb dropping Lindy, it's too much. She doing, I don't know. It's just too much, especially when you juxtapose it against the fact that she's this church girl or former church girl or whatever. It really is too much. Lindy is really a two sides of the coin. She is a true Gemini, just like Miguel said. Sweet, kind, adventurous, witty, agreeable, a disagreeable, crazy, or whatever. Church girl, pristine, a proper, F-bombing, drinking liquor in the refrigerator girl. Two different sides, two completely different people, but this is who Lindy is. A doctor who you think is, you know, people have this idea of what doctors are, but then you have this completely irresponsible person with no health care. Girl, poor Miguel, he was trying to use a reasoning and logic to get in this girl's head, and she's not using no reasoning and logic. She's using all emotion. And even if she did start thinking logically for a second, unless it's in her favor, she wasn't going to go with that. She's going to go with what she wants, what betters her. That's what Lindy's going to go with. It doesn't matter the logic. It's all about her emotions, about what she wants. And she's willing to manipulate in order to get what she wants. First of all, she's talking about, oh, I got to get my identity. You want me to get my identity. First of all, girl, when you take someone's last name, you can get yours back anytime you want. So this idea that I got to give up my identity, no, you don't. You don't have to give up your identity. If you changed your last name and you decide, you know what, I want to go back to whatever her last name is, you can do it at any time that you want to. You are not locked in to keeping somebody's last name. So all this stuff, she's overblowing this. I got to give away my whole identity. You can hyphenate your name. There's lots of things you can do, but this idea that once you give away your name, you can't get it back, that's wrong. In fact, to be honest with you, the person who has the most risk with their last name is actually men. Because once men give you their last name, guess what they can do? They can never take it back. Just like Stasha said, I don't care if this marriage works out or not. I ain't never giving back Barnes. Stasha decided I'm keeping Barnes for the rest of my life, regardless if I'm with Nate or not. And that's what I'm telling you about Lindy. She tries to make it believe that her giving up her name is more important than Miguel giving her his name. It's not true. And this is what I don't like about Lindy's argument about how important her last name is. I agree. Your last name is important. I get it. But you also discount what's important to men. A man dream of the day of giving their last name to a woman or to their children and to their son. Just like women dream of their wedding day with their wedding gown and all this other stuff what women dream of all the time. Or what men dream about is having a seed, having someone have their last name, giving their last name to a man. It is an honor that they have waited for. So when they get married, and part of the deal of marriage for them was giving their last name to a woman, when a woman says, I don't want it, it cheapens the deal for the man. You hear me, lady? It cheapens the deal for them. Okay, it's because it's what they wanted in the package of marriage. I understand your reasoning for not wanting to take it, but what you also got to understand is you just cheapened the deal for the man. It is no different for if you wanted to get married and have a certain kind of wedding and you had an ideal of your wedding and the dress you're going to wear, and your husband came along and said, no, I'm not participating in that. I'm not doing it. You would feel cheated. And so what Miguel is saying is you want all the benefits of marriage from me, the things that I give you in marriage, a joint bank account, health care, a secure place to live, because she needs to secure that place because I bet Lindy is in a situation where she getting kicked out that apartment. Lindy's housing is unstable. Just like she's financially unstable, so is her housing. That's why she lists in there health care, joint accounts, and a place of where we're going to live. She named her top 3. That's what she's looking for. And Miguel says, you want all these things for which you say is marriage, because Lindy is saying, I need all these things so that I feel this is a real marriage. And once I feel this is a real marriage, then I will take your last name. Well, if this were a real marriage, Lindy, you would have had to take his last name when you signed that marriage certificate and you filed for the marriage certificate. You wouldn't have had the luxury of waiting until you were on his health care or on a joint account or at least in your name, because you actually make the decision whose name you're going to take before you get married. So the fact that she's using this as leverage now tells me she's really manipulative. So she wants to get everything, but she doesn't want to give him what's important to him and what he deems as marriage. And what he's saying is, I believe an integral part of marriage is a woman taking my last name. Just like you believe an integral part of marriage is being on someone's health care and being on joint bank accounts. Some people don't even have joint bank accounts that are married, Lindy. Do you know that? Lindy's a pimp, L-I-N-D-Y. L-I-N-D-Y is a P-I-M-P. All the other episodes, Lindy was telling Miguel that we can't even talk about decision day. It ain't called decision day. It's called vow renewal day because we just going to blow by that. We're going to be married forever. So if you are already saying decision day is not decision day and you're going to blow by it, but now you're saying, but I can't change my last name until this. So you want him to forego and throw caution to the wind on everything. But when it comes to you, you need all these things set up. I'm telling you, Lindy is a piece of work. Miguel was saying this conversation threw me for a loop. I know it did. It threw you for a couple of loops. It was more loops on this than the ride at Magic Mountain out here. The number of loops Lindy sent you through and the number of loops she's going to send you through. I'll see how long Miguel can hang on to this train, because one thing we do know about Miguel is he is a runner too. And he knows how to leave a relationship. He may stay 2, 3, 4 years, but he eventually leaves. If Lindy does not get better, I'm going to tell you, they're not going to make it. If Lindy continues this, Miguel will not stay. He may stay for a year. He may stay for 2 years because he's been shown to be able to do that. But it will not be for a lifetime if Lindy does not get better. And sometimes these types of things are so ingrained in your head, the way your makeup. I don't know if she's going to get better because right now she don't show no signs of trying to improve herself. All she talks about is I was hungry and needed some snacks. Girl, no, you might need some lithium or something else. You need something else. Miguel, pull out them PhD paperwork because you might need to do another thesis. What they call it when you get a dissertation, you might need to do that and put a picture up of Lindy. Lindy is a PIMP. And this is my thesis dissertation for my second PhD degree when I was married to a crazy lady Gemini. Anyway, that's it, y'all. Watch my other videos and tell me what you think down below in the comments on Lindy and Miguel because Lindy a mess. All righty. Bye.